Welcome everybody, Apollo Marx here. I'm the owner of The Alchemist Club, and today we are going to be talking about cold DMs. This is going to be divided in 3 different videos. The first one, I'm going to be talking about an opener, one that helped me to get a 70% open rate, and it was tested in around 250k cold DMs. The second one is going to be about the principles, the fundamentals, how can you use that opener and understand the logic behind it. And the third one is going to be a method on which you're going to use to connect all those things so you can have a better conversation with your prospects. Without further ado, let's start with the first one. So, we are humans and we tend to deem we are complex machines, and that's partially true. And why is that? Because we have a lot of organs. We have the heart, we have the brain, we have the lungs. We have a lot of things that are going inside our body. So it's a fact, we are a complex mechanism, but it's simplified to us. We don't have to think so our heart can beat. We don't have to think so our brain can function. It just happens. That's why we're complex machines that thrives on simple systems. And that's crucial for us to understand. This is the logic behind this, okay? Because this same mindset, we need to apply it when we have a conversation. Most of us, we forget about this. We forget that we are a complex machine run by simple systems, and we tend to overcomplicate things. And that's one of the reasons that make us not sign as many clients as we want. That's one of the reasons that we don't get our cold DMs open, because who's going to read an entire paragraph if they don't even know who you are? Most likely nobody. That's why we need to use a few psychological tricks, and we need to keep the things as simple as possible. And one of the reasons is because when we are having a conversation with someone, we are having a conversation between 2 subconscious minds, and this is crucial for you to understand, okay? When we are talking with another person, most likely there's a conversation that they're having between themselves. So one of the first questions, who is this guy? Who is this girl? Why are they trying to talk to me? Why did they approach me? What's going on? There are a million of questions happening in their mind. In that precise moment, they aren't even aware of them. That's why we need to have a conversation between 2 subconscious minds, okay? And this is crucial because every single conversation that we have with people, they're trying to box us into 1 or 2 buckets. The first bucket could be, oh, this is someone that wants to have a chat with me. Yeah, whatever. And the second one is, oh, this is someone that's trying to sell something to me. And that's a box that we don't want to be in, at least yet. Because when you have those first few interactions with someone, what's your reaction? And let me give you an example. Let's say you're in your home, someone rings the phone, and you pick it up and, hello, sorry, I'm speaking from XYZ company, and today I'm going to offer you some. You automatically hang up. You don't want to hear about them. When you get those political DMs or whatever, those health insurance DMs, the messages in your phone, you're like, why this is happening again? So that's why it's important, because if they box you in as someone that you're trying to sell them something, automatically, even though if your solution is the best out there, they're going to correlate that image of you with that person that was doing a cold call. And nobody wants to have that, because it's like having a broken dish. Even though you can fix it, you can repair it, you can have it exactly the same way as it was before, you already know it's broken. So we'd rather start from square 0 than minus 10. So we tend to believe that since we're performing this action actively, it's our conscious mind that engages in the conversation, which is partially true, but our subconscious mind is ran by our subconscious mind, is the one that dictates the conversation. And this is a crucial example. Every conversation is just a confirmation of a bias that we generate over others. That's one of the main examples that I gave you before. So when you're speaking with someone, the way you communicate, the way you present your ideas, the way you talk to them, the way you write, it will determine for them a bias. So based on that bias, what they're going to do, then the rest of the conversation is going to be a confirmation of that bias. So if someone already understood that, let's say they know that this is a headphone. So what are you going to say? Okay, let me confirm if it is really a headphone, or if he is really speaking to the headphone. Oh, it has a mic over there. Most likely, yes, he's not using it because he really likes it. Are those glasses? Most likely. So let me see. Oh, yeah, probably like glasses. So they already have a bias on themselves. They already believe into that something. All they're going to do is trying to confirm that thing. So you're not going to change that belief on them. Not if they already box you in into one of those two boxes, someone that wants to chat with you or someone that wants to sell them something. So all they're going to be doing is, okay, if I think it's someone that wants to speak with me, okay, cool, let's have a conversation. And if they think it's someone that you want to sell them something, let me run away from this as fast as possible. So that's important. So we have make that distinction before we even start. Okay, here I give you the example. This is referred in psychology as selective attention or attention bias, in case you are interested. But yeah, most of code DMs are based on psychology, because you need to leverage all those biases that we have, and as much as you can, psychology, to understand how the conversation is going and really understand how we can have a conversation with them, not being left on the door knocking all day without having an answer. So you might be having the question, why I'm mentioning you this? And as I already mentioned, I get ahead because conversation is just a confirmation of those biases. And here's another example. It's a losing battle already if they box you in as someone is trying to sell. So there's no point in trying to convince them they were wrong. I mean, it's the same thing as if someone is, I don't know, 300, 400 pounds, they look themselves in the mirror and they're like, yeah, I'm good. And you keep telling them, but you're not. Look at the mirror and I'm fine. And then one day, all of a sudden, oh no, I'm fat. What did it happen? Because they convince themselves, and that's the trick. They need to convince themselves that they were wrong first. We're not changing beliefs here. We're not changing an identity here. We're just trying to don't get boxed into the wrong one. And why is that? Because when we get boxed, they're going to raise their guard. When they raise why do they raise the guard? Most likely because we're doing a complex messages. We're trying to get too fancy with things. We're trying to, oh, let me use this trick, this here. You don't need more than 12 words. And yeah, I give it a little spoiler here, but you don't need more than 12 words to make it work. It needs to be simple, because simplicity is what tends to guide to conversations. Complexity is one to tend to guide people to hang up the phone, or not even hang up the phone, ignore you, and you keep knocking at that door, and you become that annoying guy that's like, hey, this bumping this up. You don't want to be that person. So when we combine these three golden rules that I mentioned before, you manage to craft an alchemical conversation. And what is an alchemical conversation for me is that humans are complex machines that thrive on simple systems. We already covered that. Conversations happen between two subconscious minds. We already covered that. And conversations are a confirmation of biases. So when we know these three principles, we know that we need to make a simple message to them, something easy to understand, even though it's complex in the back end. So if you're speaking to the subconscious, it needs to sound simple, be simple. Then we need to remember that we're talking to the subconscious mind, and we need to don't be boxing into the wrong type of box. So we want to be someone that's worth having a conversation, not someone that's trying to sell them right off the gate. And so what is this 12-word message that I discovered one day and I tested for myself, and then I tested with my clients, and yep, it gave me a 70% open rate. This message is as simple as, let's use John as an example. Hey John, I really like what you're doing. Keep the hustle. And like that emoji. And that's it. That's the message. Sounds so simple and to be true, but yeah, it was for me. I had the same feeling once I started testing it, and I surprised myself with the results. So here I put like, so you know that the basics of a conversation, we use to craft it our opening, and yeah, that's basically what I just told you. So the three golden rules that I mentioned previously, and here again, simplicity, target the subconscious, and don't box you and build intrigue. That's one thing that I didn't mention, but yeah, you always want to build intrigue, and you're going to see why here in this breakdown. So the first part, hey, name, let's use John again. Hey John, The first part is courtesy. You need to address the name of them. Everybody loves reading their names. It's true. Otherwise, they will label you as a jerk. I mean, you need to start like, hello. Everybody started a conversation with hello, so no point of going straight to the pitch or whatever you're trying to do. I mean, it doesn't take you more than a few seconds, like 1 second maybe. So add it. The second part is I really like what you're doing. And this is a part that speaks directly to their subconscious mind. Because you're rewarding a previous action, this person put his or her effort towards it. Therefore, that reaction of their subconscious would be positive. And here is when you are also building a little bit of intrigue. Because when you tell someone, I really like what you're doing, and you're going to be seeing this in the next module, that is the open-ended questions. But this is an open-ended reward, as I like it to call. People don't know exactly what, but they know they did something good. So if they are a little bit intrigued about it, and you made your profile okay, not covering that, that's not the topic, but if you did the things that need to happen before, right, then doing that message is going to be, okay, he's rewarding me for something that I did. Cool, thank you. Everyone wants to hear from time to time that you're doing something right. This will trigger them to keep reading the message, and everybody loves to be recognized for the work, no matter how successful they are. And that's true. Everybody loves it. It's basic human nature. And keep the hustle. This is important because it speaks directly to their bias, okay? At this point, their subconscious let its guard down, releasing a little bit of dopamine, but if you're not sure there was a price attached to it, this automatically boxes you in as an ally rather than a threat, and that's what you really want. You want to be perceived as a friend, as someone that wants to be the best, they want the best for them, rather than the good old sales help. So, this is important for two things. First one, you are letting them the guard down. What do I mean by letting the guard down? They're not like 100% down that guard, but they are at least a little bit more open to have a conversation because they know you're not those guys that are like, hey, Apollo, I managed to have 100 people do XYZ in X amount of time. I'm giving you this guarantee, this. Click the link below to book a call. You're not that type of guy. They're like, just building intrigue, like maybe he's genuine with this message. Maybe he really appreciates what I'm doing. He really likes what I'm doing. They don't know. They have to keep the conversation going to confirm that. And if they're trying to confirm that you are not a bad guy, they already box you into someone that wants to have the conversation, not someone that wants to sell them something. Maybe that then becomes the next logical step. But first, you were having a conversation with them. So you move to the next stage. And that's what you want to do. It's important here. And as I wrote it here, I'm getting ahead of myself. You're prompting them to make a guess. And this is what builds intrigue in them. You're going to trigger them curiosity. And this is going to carry the conversation. And here's the fact. This happened in a fraction of a second. The conversation is held with their subconscious mind. And what they have to do, they need just to react to it. And that's important. Because when we talk with a subconscious mind, we are not aware of what's going on. I'm not aware right now that my heart is pumping. I'm not aware right now that my blood's flowing around the body. I'm not aware that I'm breathing. I'm not aware of that. I don't have to take care of that because my body's doing it for me without even knowing. So it happens the same with a message. We need to speak to the subconscious directly, so that builds intrigue, and then they start the conversation with you because you did what you have to do. You send that first message. But after that, it's up to them what they're going to do. And yeah, that's it for the first video. This is one of the modules that I cover with my clients inside the Alchemist Club. In case you're interested to know what I do with them, you can go to thealchemist.club, or you can send me a DM over X at Apollo Marts, and we can go from there. Anyways, thanks for watching.